Hi guys, it's Drew here, and I cannot believe that we are already in October. Like, I don't know how we're already in fall time, but honestly, fall and winter are my favorite seasons out of the whole year. I'm currently a little bit sick, so if I do sound kind of off, that is the reason why. But I'm coming at you guys today with a brand new video. This is going to be DIY fall room decor. I like to make all my DIYs a little bit more, almost like a little bit more time consuming, because I feel like that's a little bit more fun in my opinion. Like, I don't want to finish something in 1 second, even though these are super easy. They have a little bit of thought to them and a little bit of personality and characterization, so you can do a lot with this. If you're new to my channel, I do DIY, room decor videos, home decor videos, men's fashion videos, style videos, just lots of random stuff. I do women's style videos too. If you want to subscribe to my channel, make sure to do so. The link is below, or the little subscribe button is below. Give this video a thumbs up, and let's get started. Let's start off with these really cool fabric pumpkins. All you're gonna need is some scrap fabric, some scissors, socks, a hot glue gun, and a cinnamon stick or twig. So basically you can use any old sock that you might have laying around. I literally have so many random spare socks, and you're gonna cut the tip off of the sock and essentially create a sock bun. This is actually like a DIY for girls' hair to create little sock buns, but I'm taking it and implementing it in this pumpkin DIY. So you're going to take a scrap of fabric and cut it just to the width of the pumpkin times about 3. And you're just going to shove the fabric around the sock. You're essentially just covering the sock. This is pretty self-explanatory, I feel like. So you're going to create the little sock bun, and then you're going to take the fabric and cover the sock bun. And I just shove the excess fabric into the center. And you're just going to shove it in there, maneuver it in, and then use a little bit of hot glue just to make sure that that fabric is stuck down. And I put a lot in the center there just to make sure, and that's the bottom side, by the way, just to make sure that it holds. And for example, here's another one that I'm doing. I'm just wrapping the fabric around and just shoving it in the center, and then I'm going to add quite a bit of hot glue in the center just on the bottom side to make sure it holds. And then I'm going to use a little cinnamon stick as the twig for the pumpkin, and that's all you have to do to create these little fabric pumpkins. And if you're curious about how I created the really big orange one, I just doubled up the socks. So I did one sock and then another sock over it to create a thicker pumpkin. Next, we have this really cool little trinket tray, and all you're going to need is some clay, a little sharp object, parchment paper, and a cooking sheet. So we're starting off by unwrapping our clay, and you're just going to warm this up in between your hands. You're going to want this to be pretty malleable so you can work with it and of course make your tray out of it. And honestly, I went for more of a very organic looking leaf. I didn't really want it to be super anything amazing because I really love the look of organic ceramics, and whenever I go into Anthropologie or any of those ceramic stores that sell these types of items, I really love the ones that sort of have that handmade touch to them. So I started out by using 2 packs of clay and then just flattening it with my fingers. I'm not using any tools to shape this, just my fingers, and I kind of shaped it into this leaf shape, and you can do really whatever type of leaf shape you would like. And then I used my fingers as well to sort of create a little bit of an edge on it to make it look a little bit more like an actual trinket tray. And then I used this little clay tool, but you can also use a knife or your fingernail or whatever you really want to add a couple of lines in there. And that's really all you have to do. You're just going to bake it up in the oven at whatever the clay packet says on it, but you can also add some gold to it, paint it however you would like. There's lots of possibilities with this. This next one is super customizable, and what I used were some fake fall florals, some lace, a wreath ring and string, and then some cardboard letter stickers. And what I started off by doing was taking my wreath ring and wrapping it in this lace that I had in my crafting stash. It's just a random bit of lace I found at the thrift store a long time ago, and I wrapped it all the way around the ring, but you could really use whatever you want. You could use like twine or burlap or really anything that's kind of fall and festive. And I wrapped it all the way around the ring, and then I used my letter stickers and I spelled out "fall is in the air," and this was just a little quote I saw on Pinterest, and you can add whatever you want in here, but I knew that I wanted it to look like it was levitating inside of the ring. So what I did was I took 2 pieces of string, laid them across the 2 sets of phrases, and then I glued only the top part of the letter sticker to that string. So as you can see here, I'm just gluing only the top portion so that it hangs from the string and it kind of looks like it's levitating on there. Once it's fully glued onto the string, I flipped it over and used just like my finger to sort of make the stickers less tacky, if you know what I mean, because they're kind of tacky. And then I went ahead and I glued this down to the actual ring. So I glued it down so that it sort of levitated in the center of the ring. Wow, I'm talking the most ever. So next what I did was I just glued 5 pieces of string to the bottom, and this is just going to add a little bit of extra detail. And I tied on some fall florals. I got these at Michael's. They were 80% off, so cheap, and I just cut them up and I just tied them onto the bottoms of the string. Sort of a Dreamcatcher-esque vibe, but it just adds a touch of, I don't know, whimsical fall fun to it. And then I just added a couple of the florals to the top as well, just to embellish the top section. But this one is super customizable. You can customize really everything in it, which is something that I love, and I hope you enjoyed this project. This last DIY is definitely the cheapest. All you're going to need is string and a pumpkin. So I cut out 8 pieces of string at 1 yard length each, and you just adjust this to whatever size your pumpkin is. I'm just using the little 99-cent ones from the grocery store, but I cut out 8 strands at 1 yard each, which is 3 feet, and then I tied a knot of all 8 strands, and this is basically going to be right where the pumpkin sits. I actually did a DIY very similar to this on a DIY planter, and what you're going to do is just create square knots for all this. So section it off into 2 strands, so there's 4 sets of 2 strands as shown here, and do a square knot. So a square knot is essentially right over left, left over right, and just remember that. You're going to create 4 square knots. Then you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to do it with the knots next to each other. So you're going to see, it's kind of hard for me to explain talking wise, but when you see on the screen, as you can see, I'm taking the string from the first knot we created and creating a new knot with a knot next to it. So you're just going to be knotting a lot of strands together basically. So I'm just knotting away, and there we have our next section. You can kind of see it's sort of forming this square flower shape, and then I'm doing it a 3rd time, going around and knotting all of the sides 1 more time, and that's going to create that macrame planter effect. So you can just hang this up wherever you want. You have a really cool little decor piece.